So I was shown a lot the last year. It all kind of coincides with everything else I've been talking about. I was kind of like not quite final pieces, but definitely information that fell directly in line with everything I was already seeing and talking about seeing. But when I travel thousands of miles and I meet clones of people, then, that tells me, one of a few things. There's clones here, or there's shapeshifters who can teleport long distances, which, kind of is weird and wish-washy, although I can't prove that those other people still exist 3,000, 7,000, 10,000 miles away. I can tell you that, especially when they have the same name and the same face, to go along with the same personality, that is what we would call a clone. And then I met clones of more than just one person. I've seen four of. And it's odd that person, I live with four times. Wow. That was odd. And supposedly all four of them were different people. And in fact, to be honest, I've met two of them. Two of them were in the same house at the same time. And wow, those attitudes could have really conflicted. And in fact, those attitudes did want to conflict. And behind the scenes, I was trying to tell the one, not to, get out of hand, because he wanted to do probably what should have been done, but I wanted, things to remain a little calm. So, yeah, I guess I've met two of the clones in the same spot. So, somehow they exist like that. And then, so when I started seeing all this, at one point in time, I just pulled up to, a random dumpster somewhere, maybe North California or Portland, something like that. Or I think it would have been South California, because North California was just like a freeway. And boy, did they play with me and show me stuff on the freeway too. But so I just decided to run up to a dumpster. And I was actually just going to park because it was a weed shop and see what they had there. And But my goal was to just find the first person I could and start talking to them about this stuff. And that person started talking to me directly about a lot of stuff, personal stuff. I'm thousands of miles away from my life, and I'm pulling up to a homeless dude digging stuff out of the dumpster and smashing it on the ground. And this was the first clue. If you're me, this is the first clue something's up, that you're interacting with someone who's over here smashing stuff on the ground. And it's yes, this person is calling your name. But it's more like I was calling their name. And so when I get there, I start talking to him, and he starts talking to me about stuff I was paying money thousands of miles away to learn. Continuing the exact spot we left off at thousands of miles away a couple months earlier, a month earlier. I don't even think it was quite a month, but yeah. And then he tried to teach me some other stuff I didn't understand yet as well, and then he taught me some other stuff, but he definitely was teaching me stuff and that I was just being taught by professional, gold medal fighters and stuff, paying money to learn from them. And so that was my first clue, yeah, I'm right. It wasn't my first clue. I mean, I came to the conclusion at this point that I can do this. That I can just go up to and extract information from anyone, because I had begun to see this stuff, where people were magically in tune with what was in my life, even though they have no idea who I am. And, some people would come up to me and start talking to me about my personal life and everything. And that was like, those were like really the clues. I was testing people where I was from back in Columbus, and they all failed the test, which means they didn't understand they were being tested. But as far as the actual results of the test, it was a pass for what I was looking at, because it was there, because it could simply be there. But they failed the test by being interrogated and not knowing they were being interrogated and answering the questions properly, even though they couldn't have answered any of those questions properly or responded to the cues. Not even answering questions, responding to cues generally. They could have done that if they weren't part of something else. And so this has happened repeatedly the last year. And it became very noticeable because I left where I was, and I've met like 10,000 people since this has happened, since I left that area. And before, I was just in one area. So it only threw minor red flags when people around me somehow knew something. Yet sometimes there were people who didn't know jack squat, and then they knew this or that, and it's like, wait a minute, that's like actually personal information. People started acting like they know me, and in reality, no one knows me. People think they know me because they've hung out with me a couple times, or because they've I don't know. I don't know what makes people think they know me, because for a long time I didn't know me. And it's like, if you're on the outside, you definitely don't know me. If you're not inside my head, you don't know me at all, because even I'm inside my head. And that was like a little bit confusing. But then again, I guess this is part of me actually learning who I am. And then if you can't even agree to knowing this stuff, then you definitely don't know anything about me, because these are the clues to who I am. To me, this has been explaining away every moment of my life for 40 years, and why everything is like the same and nothing changes. It doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm not supposed to be learning how to kick people out of my life any faster than I already have, because I was already doing that as fast as I could. And sometimes it was like trying to put a crowbar in the middle of a solid titanium, freaking block, and pry it apart. And it's like, yeah, that's not going to work. But that itself is a continual theme there. Like, for instance, there are people out there who play with Barbie dolls, and they come to you. I'm not going to call everyone out for what 99% of the people do. So I'm going to say something stupid like play with Barbie dolls. Let's say most people play with Barbie dolls, right? And you don't play with Barbie dolls. So you tell people, hey, I don't play with Barbie dolls. I'm out of here. I'm not going to do this. And then they'll be grabbing you and pulling you in and calling you on the phone and be like, Barbie dolls, I'm playing with Barbie dolls, man, check it out. And then they'll hand you a Barbie doll, and they'll hand you a Ken doll, and they'll hand you a pink Corvette and stuff. And they'll be like, come on, we're playing Barbies today. And generally I'm cool and calm. And I'm like, okay, well, we're going to play with Barbies. And these days I'm cool and I'm calm. We're going to play with Barbies, because I know people who play with Barbies are psychopaths. And you can't say no to many people who play with Barbies, because the 99%, the general population, are very savage people. Especially back in the day. Now, fortunately, the savagery has been toned down, and that's probably to their detriment, considering they've built everything they've owned on pure savagery as the main requisite for obtaining everything they have. So, it's cool that the savagery is kind of gone, but the memory remains of, if I don't play with Barbie dolls with this person when they're asking me, they might stab me because I don't like Barbie dolls. They might think I don't like them because I don't like Barbie dolls. And then that hurts their fragile ego, which I think ego is probably like a personality code, just like SOUL, soul, is probably like single output universal language, and it's the basic code of a unique individual, one of the 7 unique personalities that 40 billion people have. So I would assume ego is also one of those things. EGO probably means electrical, I don't know. I haven't really thought of that one, but emotional something output. Probably emotional something output, considering I got to thinking soul is single output universal language. It's just basic conformist code to program. It would be a code to program, like Windows or OS. But I consider the or Mac. I consider the religions the actual OS. So this is like code within the OS, and the religions seem to be like the racial operating systems put into different tribes. But I've seen this enough to know it's there. You can't deny that I've lived with pretty much the same person 4 times, because you can even see them like interacting with me and stuff on my pages and stuff, and me talking about that. And more recently, I can show you photographs of the people. I could like upload. I mean, I've been documenting this for a long time. I can upload like a whole slew of these people and their families and just show you like, yeah, hey, look, isn't that odd? They look exactly the same. Isn't that odd? They have the exact same name. Isn't that odd? I live with them. Isn't